we go. Nice. Change date for my appetite anyway. Right. I'll head off and leave you put it back.
Aye, go on, mate.
Come and take that back at Emma.
Aye, please, mate. Aye. Alright.
Right, sounds right. I'll give you a text once we know what's happening.
Aye.
Hopefully we get place in dark.
Cool.
Right. Next one.
How you doing, people? Right, mate, cheers. Sorry about that. Right, where am I here? So before I give the formalities, I just want to say a big thanks to everybody who showed up today. It was really nice and overwhelming to see people coming from all over the place, especially those that travelled up from England. You know, it was a fair journey just to come up and say hello. So it was much appreciated. It's really good to see. I look forward to more of these meetings. So again, thanks to every single person who showed up. It was a pleasure to meet you all and have a chat. So just bear with me a wee second. Before I get into anything else, the usual, if you're new to this, flat earth, you know, I define what flat means. You don't get to label me with your labels of flat earth. Flat earth here means that it's not a cartoon globe that we live on. There is no proof that you live on a globe, although there will be some religious disciple-y type people out there who are part of the globe cult who will try and convince you through sophism and insistence that there is indeed proof, measurable proof of a globe, when there's none. You only have an image. And that is why it's so difficult for you to let go, because you have been indoctrinated by these images since you were a child. But if you actually go and do the work, look into what real science is, and look at, you know, how the substances in the natural world actually behave, you will find that you do not live in the exterior of a globe or any other shape. You live in a contained system. You're on a level plane within that contained system that's filled with water. We know the physical behaviour of water. It's testable, measurable 100% of the time. It's not going to let you down. We use it in construction. We use it every day practically. All right. You live pressurised air, which tells you again that you're living within some sort of contained unit. Whatever the full dimensions of this unit are is unknown to me or anybody else here. We do not claim to know what the full dimensions are. It's purely an ongoing investigation. We try and bring a bit of awareness to people in regards to the claim that you, me and everybody else included was born into. Okay, and that claim is that you live on the outside of a nature-defying blue testicle that's a wee bit chubby at the bottom, and it's not quite a perfect sphere, apparently. So again, you know, it is an ongoing investigation. Flat here doesn't mean a pizza disc or any of these cartoons that are put out there. These other ideas of flat earth are just as cartoony as the globe. There's a real push to try and suppress this information. There's a real push to keep people in ignorance from being instilled with a critical thinking mind and a no-nonsense approach to the crap that's thrown at you in regards to this reality. Who you are, where you are, what the history is, blah, blah, blah. It's all utter fucking nonsense. The religions and the ideologies that are out there are substitutes. They are a result of this manipulation. The psychological foundations have been removed from human beings. We do not know where we are. And from that moment, people have been clutching at straws, coming up with ideas about their existence, who they are, where they are, why they're here, what it's all about. It's nonsense. All right? It's time for us to move on from the old mind structures, let go of these beliefs and ideas. They are viruses, you do not need them. All right? So, I think that's about that. Just for anybody new, anybody inquiring. Again, Saturday night here at this platform, it's open to everybody. We can discuss any topic. The only criteria is that any claims you're making to be objectively true, you must provide proof for it. Right? Now, there's a difference between proof as in what you've read from a book or some article. You know, we deal in substance here. Things have to be observed, measured, tested by everybody. Okay? So if you want to come in and join, you need to send an email to nocurve@gmx.com, or you can phone the phone, or you can message the phone. I'll get that number for you in 2 wee seconds. Hint, 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 hint. We'll see if it's here.
You want me to read it back?
Oh, have you got it there, man? Aye.
It's in the chat box.
All right, I see it now.
0739 36 54 544.
So, again, I'll just get back to today's events. I mean, it was really good to see Paul and his partner and Dan Tibbetts and his partner came up from, I think it was about 4.5, 5 hour drive. Really nice to see, and you know, everybody else, you know, obviously West Coast Wisdom and our partner who had a couple of hours travelling as well, and there was many other people who came from afar. So it was really appreciated and good to see that people were making that effort to come. As I say, I've said to a few of these people, if you're, wherever you are, if you want to arrange a meeting, you know, all you need to do is give us a destination and we will shout it here. Even if you give us a month's notice, a couple of weeks' notice, we can shout it a few times so that people can arrange to be there. And I will travel as well. So that's about it. And again, for anybody new, you don't live on a cartoon fucking testicle. It's time to wake up, smell the fucking coffee. Right? If you understand that there's manipulation, lies being told to you in just about every level of your life, I don't know why it's so difficult for you to go over this hurdle. This is the root of it. In order to have that mind control, in order to keep the people where you want them to be, you remove that foundation. You tell them they are on a nature-defying fucking testicle. That means there is no way off, there is nowhere to go, everything has been discovered. And that you just need to be a good little fucking mouse, sit in your cage and play with the shiny. Okay? There's more to life, more to reality than that bollocks. People like me are fed up with it. I want real truth, regardless of what that truth is. We have the right and we deserve to know what the actual truth of this situation is. I come back and I seen Sean Mindfulness has put something up there about Ranty Rant. I don't know who this character is. And again, this harks back to me saying, if there's people who are mentioning my name or the platform's name without having any dialogue, and there's a bit of bitching and names being dropped and things being said, I suggest you come to the source. I do not know who this fucking character is. I've never had any comms or interaction with him, but yet they're claiming to know me, they're claiming to have interaction and things are planned with them. And it's utter bollocks. Again, you're going to see this because if people don't forget, this is not about me. I represent this platform and that's purely it. I'm like a fucking janitor. This is not about Dell, the personality, or any of these fucking things, but you're going to see these games ensuing as this gets more popular, right? And it's popular because it's for the people. People know that there's no bullshit, right? And that it's not about celebrityism and fucking idol worship, right? If I represent the truth and people are happy with that, fine. The rest of it, no fucking interested. There's no celebrities here. There's no fucking hierarchy here either, right? And these clowns that keep dropping names and adding you into their videos and stuff, whatever, right? If you're confused about any of this, ask. Don't just take it for granted that what these people are saying is true. Come and try and verify it. And again, comments on the previous hangout, these same fucking globe disciples. Oh, there's an abundant evidence that you live on a globe. What do you mean evidence? Stories? Plasticine? Plastic? Cartoons? If that constitutes evidence in your delusional world, then fine. But here we deal with natural science. There has to be substance. All claims must be shown practically. Right? You're not going to show us a fucking potato rock suspended in a vacuum with a gaseous environment and oceans clung to it. It's retarded. It's total nonsense. That alone should tell you. Right? Marshall also said to me that somebody had showed up today. They said they were at the last post and they were there for a couple of hours and never seen us. Well, we were right at the bottom and there was a group of at least 30 people there. So I don't know how you could have missed that. I can only apologise. You should have had a research about. We were there I was there pretty much from bang on 2 o'clock until around about tea time, 5 o'clock-ish. So I don't know how that happened. Anyway, I'll come to the chat before I start anything else here. Here we got Lewis McDonald. Celebs, ha ha ha, level-headed plain sailing, exactly. Twit, what are you doing, DJ Diori? Globies are pissing you off today. It's hard dealing with people who are so saturated in a fucking cult religious crap. Martin Haley, too right, Dylan. It was great to meet you in the flesh today. Cheers, man. It was nice to meet you as well. Same as everybody. I look forward to more of that. Lisa Hawk, how are you doing? Inside the closed system. Richard Lee Burke, Merrill, how are you? Dundee, Rock Vibrations, good to see you the other day as well. Nimble Horse, Outer Passion Zone. Well, I'm at this, again, people with, a religious ideology or a religious belief, it's fine. I'm not here to try and shut any of these religious beliefs down. I would just rather that you shelve them and that we can actually explore this reality and find out some fundamental truths rather than taking things from a book and filling our heads with fantasy. If you take a look through history or even present day, I mean, what good is any of this serving anybody? None. Absolutely fucking nothing. Pandemonium. After arguing with ballers, I often say join the hangout and tune. As in, none of them have turned up yet. Well, it's the same, these fucking trap groups on Facebook or whatever else. Again, it's an open platform, but people have not got anything that we've heard it a million times before. They know that they don't have any practicality for any of the claims that's being made in regards to the heliocentric model and the idiotic globe. This reality is telling us something different, but these people don't want to live in reality, and they might get away with their argumentation, their sophism, but with people who are, a little more tolerant. Here I have fucking zero tolerance for it. It's been 3 years just about of the same fucking crap, repeating, and you're repeating the same thing at them. We need substance, we need actual science, and understand the separations of the science. For anybody that was interested, me and Gav went on the Eddie Bravo show last night. I'm not actually sure where it has been posted. I think Gav, you sent me that earlier, and it was the Shared Dog Radio Network. So I think it's on there. And again, I can only be grateful for the opportunity for me and Gav to get in the little bits that we could. But as usual, people wander away from one topic to the next. And really we're there for a no-nonsense approach and sticking purely to that topic. But unfortunately, it doesn't go like that. And that's what you have to deal with when you're going to other platforms. But again, I can only be grateful for that exposure to new people, that we can get our message heard, and hope that it brings some new faces. So, again, if you want to come in, event to say, you need to send an email to nocurve@gmx.com, or you can phone the phone number. And again, I'm going to write this down right now, actually, so that I don't need to keep looking at this screen for it. I'll show you, got it, aye. Cheers, John. 07393654544. I think there's a few messages here already, so I'll come back to the chat in a minute, people. Flat Earth female here. Brilliant meet up today in Paisley. Good to see everyone and especially new faces. My daughter loved it too. All walks of life and ages waking up to Flat Earth. Love it. I will be showing off my new Flat Earth custom made table next week on YouTube. If anyone wants to see it or get one made, Anne. Cheers for that, Anne. Great to see the two of you there today as well. So that's Flat Earth Female on YouTube for anybody that's interested. I've got two messages here from this number. One is obviously huge and I'm not getting it. It's asking me to download. The last part is I don't drag. Getting a call here. Hang on. Hello.
Hello, Del. It's Matthew from Manchester, man. How's it going? All right?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm very well, thank you very much indeed, sir. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate.
Yeah, very good, very good. Oh, so I've been, to be honest, man, obviously I've had to turn my live feed off so I can phone you, but it is what it is because I'm speaking to a very clever man, like, definitely. Still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, bud.
So I watched, I was going to you, I don't know, but I was watching your experiment, man, with the three guys when you was like, showed them that water experiment, you had three guys, it's like, they was stood on like a banking in front of some fields or something, and one was kind of old guy, they're all like golders, you know, but, you know what I mean, as he did that experiment, I'm like, that's proper, that man, the water one definitely got me, do you know what I mean? I've Flat Earth now for 2 years, man, researching it and that.
Good.
And from what I, you know what I mean, like, a bit nervous, man, do you know what I mean? But
That's all right.
So,
Cool,
like,
bud.
obviously, when I got into it, everyone said that research would take you different places to my research again and all that, so I'm like, alright, sweet. So when I was watching you with that water thing, I'm 100% there anyway, but I'm like, it was funny, man, them three people, like, got to the end, the guy, at the end, he's like, nah, you'll never get rid of my ball theory, man, and all that, do you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, man, the guys are showing you, you know? And then today, I'm like, so they admit that the seabeds are flat when they bounce the sonar off it. Also to get it, like, well, obviously there's mountain ranges and stuff to regime, but it's flat.
Yeah.
Which means, technically speaking, the water at the top should be flat. If it's flat at the bottom, it's flat at the top, innit? The water, so...
It doesn't matter what shape. Doesn't matter what shape the underside is. The water's never going to display the shape on its surface anyway. So.
Yeah, but like I did it myself to my friends. Like I said, whenever you got fluid, it's contained in an object like you did. You know, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like when you put your hand like a bottle and put the water around it, the water tips out. I think so. It's like, you know, to me, it's relevant, man, and I think. Definitely, without a doubt, man. I think they're definitely hiding something. Whatever they're hiding, I don't know, but and like I was dead into Space Thing, man. Do you know what I mean? I love Space Thing, Star Wars and all that, like all that, you know. Yeah. And then when I got onto it, I'm like, so I got into it all by like researching space and how the shuttle space and all that, and then the next thing is Flat Earth, and it's like, okay. Yeah. So I delved into it, man. Delved into it for 2 years. People that I think, right, just as a side note, I think that actually the whole world, from the research and everything, the whole world is being so dumbed down now and wrong with all this speculating and everything. Yeah. No one knows what's going on. And I think to myself, I ask myself all the time, I'm like, am I mad? Am I going mad? But I'm like, oh, these people are mad. Yeah. I don't know anyway, I don't know, they weren't like this when I was a kid, man, and it's all gone topsy-turvy. And whatever anyway, but I enjoy listening to your live feed, man. You speak a lot of sense to me, Jody, so I just wanted to say, like, you know, when you was just saying that before about doing meetings and all that, I would have come down on, but money's money at the moment, you know, but I'd love to do a Flat Earth chat. You know, I'm talking Manchester sort of thing, but anyway, it's what it is, man, you know what I mean? But,
that's it, mate. Well, hopefully the people will arrange some sort of meeting in that neck of the woods, and I'll come to that as well, you know.
Yeah, man, well, you know, obviously, I'm just trying to sort of like save some pennies at the moment, man. I'm spend some time coming up on Christmas around the corner, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I'm willing to travel to meet up with other people that speak sense.
Good on you, mate.
Lots of it, man. But anyway, I'll get off now and let other people jump in, man, if you don't mind. Right?
Aye, no bother, buddy.
All right, man.
Thanks for phoning.
Anyway, take care, man.
You too, bud. Cheers. Cheers, man. So what he's referring to there is, you know, a natural observation. You know, when you speak to people and they have it right in front of them, i.e. the water. But people are so far removed from trusting, you know, their actual senses and actual reality. And again, it comes back to the images and the videos. That is what's causing the conflict in people's minds. They don't get that their senses and what they experience in everyday practical reality is the truth. You know, they're somehow trying to rationalise and, you know, excuse away everyday experience to match these images because they've been so heavily influenced by it. You know, whether it's been NASA or Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever other cartoon, you know, they've put out there, that is where the confusion comes with people, you know, and it's a choice for them. I get why people are scared, anxious to let go of these deep-rooted beliefs that they have, but at the end of the day, it is a belief, and, you know, I for one really don't care about beliefs because objective reality, you know, it's not going to change because of somebody's belief. And if, you know, people are not secure enough to let go of beliefs, that's not my problem. I'm not interested in a substitute, right? For me, it's no holds barred, it's all or nothing, right? No fucking about. How do I come on live, mate? And this is from Big Mac. Big Mac, if you hear this, you need to send an email to nocurve@gmx.com. Just say hello and that you're looking for a link to come in, and we will send you the link to come in directly. Somebody else has sent me a link here. Another link. Again, people, if you're sending me links, I'm not going to get to access them right now. I have to do that once I'm finished. And usually I'll forget. I've got so many other things going on that I've not got time to watch them. So if you've got links or you've got something that you want to share, it'd be great if you could just, you know, either phone or come in directly. Hi Dale, used the washing machine today. Put it on a spin cycle and it span the water out. What's that about? So I shoved a brick under it to get a 23.4 degree angle and tried again. Did that work? Did it fuck? It just bounced across the kitchen floor, nearly killing the dog. So I took a hammer to it and now it retains water. Anyway, the wife returned from shopping and asked what the fuck I'd done to the washing machine. So I told her and she said, "You fucking clown. It's a cylinder drum. If it had been a spherical drum, it would have retained the water." I feel so fucking stupid, Dale, especially after having it explained in such a scientific manner. New washer on its way. Cheers, Andy. I don't know, Andy, maybe you need to phone up NASA and ask them why this fucking Gravity character doesn't like you, me, or any of the other kind of common people. Because in our common, practical, everyday experience, when you spin things, things fly off them. They don't, or they're no subject to the magical, loving force. Maybe you need to be rich. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe if you're a millionaire, gravity favours you. Right? So you just got to shut this door here. So again, you know, these name droppers and people who are fucking talking shit, just, if you're hearing it, you know, you can let me know or whatever, but if I was you, I wouldn't accept it. You know, just get people to go direct to the source. Marshall, is there any requests?
Yeah, I'm just putting a link out to Mac. As you're probably already aware of, I think, oh yeah, and Dave H, obviously you've just seen me put a link out, so yours will be in a minute.
Cool. Nice backdrop, mate.
I'm saying nothing. It's a puzzle. Let's see if people in chat can work it out.
My Facebook is 95% Brain Cox followers. They all share his bullshit images of Earth from millions of miles away, then go, wow, we are so small and irrelevant. And they think that's gospel. Just shows it's a cult religion. Red Machine Kieran. Exactly, Kieran. And again, you can see that it's part of the psychological control for people. And they've actually, you know, people would have rebelled against such nonsense ideologies. And now they're actually twisting it to get them to embrace it. Oh, you're insignificant. You mean fuck all, life's meaningless. Let's just all be nihilists and not give a fuck about anything but what we can get for ourselves. Oh, it's such a great, wonderful experience. Let's embrace it. And it's total fucking lunacy. And then people wonder why there's such degenerative fucking behaviour. You know?
Hello.
Oh, hello, Big Mac.
Hey, you alright, yeah?
Yeah, how you doing, bud? Hang on, just bear with me. I'm going to see if I can turn your volume up a wee touch here. How's that?
Hey, you're loud and clear. Loud and clear, though.
Yeah, you were just a wee bit quiet. I've turned you up a fair bit there. I think that's a wee bit better. Gaff, how you doing as well? See you there, mate.
Hey, hi Dale.
How you doing, mate?
Hi Marshall, hi everybody.
Nobody's saying hello, mate.
Sorry,
Oh, do you hear me?
sorry, dude. I can't speak and type at the same time. You know what secretaries are like.
Big Mac, how are you, man?
I'm good, mate. It took a long time. I've been watching you probably over about a year or so, following you along. So it took a lot to be on the live feed, to be honest with you, buddy. I've got lots of things bouncing around in there, to be honest. I could feel pages of stuff bouncing around in there, but like you say, there's no answer to any of them. They're just deep rabbit holes that never end up anywhere. And sticking to the water seems it is the only thing we've got that we can grasp to do something with. There's that many conspiracies and things, and it's just, like you've always said, they're just rabbit holes, but they still fill your head.
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced that a lot through my time, man, and I've played with many of these rabbit holes until I'm blue in the face, and I think sometimes you need to just delve into them in order to get some realizations, you know. And it just, you know, it all culminates into this point. You know, at the end of the day, we don't have the foundation. None of that stuff is really relevant to me and my everyday experience, you know. And I'm not going to waste any more of my energy and time trying to have any resolve. You know, I just let it go and focus on what's important.
I'm just trying to get a better picture because I'm on a mobile phone, so it's not the best standards of communication, though.
Yep. Aye, no problems, mate.
I'm just going to. I've got a few things to say. Obviously, there would be no point in coming on if you hadn't got a few things to say. One of the things that's always stood out to me when we've had photos, if they are real or not, whatever, is that if I took a photo of something that was spinning at 1,050 miles an hour, surely it would be blurred in some way. Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
One thing.
Yeah.
Unless they're slowing it down, or you know, it's just the answers are there and they smack you in the face once you start seeing it. It's very obvious, but it takes time to warm to the idea, and you're backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. But eventually, you just see it, and there's no way back once you've just seen it. To be honest.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So a lot of subjects on here, you know, and without digging too deep. I've heard you mention chemtrails and things in the past. Obviously, a rabbit hole. Nothing we can prove. Nobody's ever really going to tell us. I mean, you hear these things about Project Solar Shield or whatever. Again, but is it just conspiracies? I haven't got any real information to touch and to feel and to. And then you think maybe is it planes just flying at different altitudes, and at certain altitude you'll get vapor and you can see it, and at other altitudes you maybe don't get the vapor, so you can't see it. So is that my son sticking his head in? I've corrected their way of thinking a little bit, to be honest with you. Sort of school is trying the best, and so is Dad.
Yeah.
I've got twins just because I've been watching you for a while. They've had a watch and stuff, so.
Yeah, it's not.
I'll keep my boy. Well, always said you're all right, mate. I mean, I don't want to take up, too much time. I mean, I've got lots of things bouncing around in the head, but there's nothing solid or an end to any of them. There's just when this comes along and you first discover this, like you say, the water, and that brings other thoughts in your mind, which lead to other thoughts, and but there's no end to any of it. So it just leaves you feeling a bit, I don't know, a bit like you're not part of the crowd anymore, if you like.
Yeah.
And I'm finding people generally more aggressive in society, to be honest with you. Whether that's because they're trapped into some sort of slavery, which just in my opinion, society is sort of a slavery trap. I mean, they all wear the orange overalls. All they really need is the arrows and the chains, and and it's feeling like this conformity all the time of fitting in, and sometimes people would sooner not say anything just to fit in.
Yeah.
And I have to speak, if something's wrong, I have to speak out about it. But how long are we going to have to shout this really loudly to get heard and for things to change? There's no time span on this, is there, as such?
No, mate, it's an ongoing thing, isn't it? And it's changing from day to day. People just need to be determined and stick to their guns and hope that we can get somewhere with it, But all these other things like chemtrails and whatever else, I mean, for me, it's a phenomena that obviously there's questions surrounding it, but as you say, we don't have any real resolve in what's actually going on, But that's all right. And people are the slavery is more mental slavery rather than physical slavery. That's just really a choice, but it's the mental slavery that's the problem for me. This is where the constraints are, and the way we view life, the limited, ideas we have about life, the way we think about it, it's all based on a false foundation,
It's the conformity of it all. It's the idealism of life, the idealism of where you should be, what your target should be, what you should be aiming for in life, what you're going to achieve. But isn't achievement what's in your own mind rather than what other people expect of you? Really?
Yeah.
I just put that out there, sort of thing. For me, I mean, again, information is always second hand, though, isn't it? Always.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that's trying to separate that, and people stop taking second-hand information. I mean, if you can take second-hand information and put it to practical use, then it becomes something that you know. But when we're taking second-hand information without any practicality to it or any direct experience, then what use is it to anybody?
And I'm feeling a bit like that. I mean, a bit sort of like what is actually happening now. For a start, you start signing up to a load of channels and going down these rabbit holes, but now I've just sort of brought it back to sort of you and John, really, and this on a Saturday night, because it can fry you. It can make you feel a bit fried, to be honest with you. It really can, for a while, until, I don't know, until it sort of soaks in. I think it soaks in, and that's, and you sort of realise, and you have to start ignoring those other things, because it's just going to mush you up. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, that's kind of by design. There's a lot of that going on that's deliberate, and people who are professing to be wise and clever and who get this, yet they still perpetuate the confusion within people, the bewilderment, all these rabbit holes. They're not interested in cutting right to the mustard and getting to the roots of the problem,
It's the general aggression of people, I mean, when I try and put a point forward, I've always got things in my mind to support that argument, or to say, look at it this way or look at it that way, but it's like you just get shut down now. If it's not their way, it's just, I'm shutting you down. You're a fool, you're an idiot, or whatever. Right? But it's not just about these topics. That covers many of the topics, whether it be raising children, many of the things. Everybody's got their own ideas. I mean, they say opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, sort of thing. Yeah, life has definitely not felt the same since the start of this roller coaster, to be honest. For me, definitely, it's changed my life, definitely.
Right. I think that's the same for many people who experience this, as a huge change. and they're coming from many different walks of life. You know, me and Gav were talking last night with Eddie and whatnot. You know, and Gav saying, you know, his thinking's atheistic, and so was mine. You know, the way I viewed reality and the way I was starting to formulate my whole view of reality was influenced by these ideas that are out there. You know? And when you realise you have certain realisations and you strip everything back and remove the beliefs and assumptions that you had, you start to formulate different ways of thinking and looking at life.
For me personally, now it's more, it's about my choice of path from this point forward, and the way I'm looking at life, other than the way I did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, is very different. It's like it's brought a full stop to everything and a line, and then I'm moving forward with these fresh thoughts in my mind. So, you know, some people call it third eye or whatever else. I don't know. It definitely doesn't feel the same. Things don't feel the same in people. Things don't feel the same in general, really. You know, and I'm 70s child, you know, sort of. People are comfortable. I mean, they think they're not comfortable, but if you go back to late 60s, 70s, there was a lot more poverty about. But from where I was from.
Yeah.
We are more privileged now, but the privilege is just making us worse. You know,
yeah.
I don't know, and that's another path off and another conversation entirely from what this channel's about, obviously. But you say you can come on and just chuck ideas out there, and obviously I've got things going through my mind. It took me about 6 to get in touch like this. Obviously, I was a bit shaky.
Don't worry about it. I mean, as I say, we can talk about anything, mate. You know, a lot of these things are relevant.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some people on here who just go complete, and it is losing. And this is why I think people should withdraw from having too much information, too many channels, too many people's ideas, and it leaves you feeling a bit bewildered.
Yep.
So I think you've got to limit yourself. I really do, because I did that. You just couldn't get enough of different things, different ideas, things, you know, going back to the Second World War and how NASA was formed and how this and how that, and it's just like a train that runs through you.
Well, there are plenty of that. They know that we're looking and we know things are not right and we're looking for answers. So you're going to get these, you know, ideas and different things pumped out there and all. You know, it's like you realise, right, the globe's a lie, and then you start hearing these other concepts and ideas, and it's fresh and it's new. And because you're still on that search, you know, it titillates your imagination. You know, you can perceive certain ideas, and then you start to lose, you know, what is an idea, what is fantasy, what is real, just because you're searching for a bit of certainty, you're searching for some real truth, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, somebody's talking there, so I didn't want to butt in.
No, of course, mate, no, on you go.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about that line that's now come for me. I've gone through the initial trauma, the initial, you know, channel hunting and conspiracy this and conspiracy that, and you know, you sort of got to draw a level, but it definitely does make your outlook different to what it was. Definitely. You know, I've done the TV thing, switched it off, and that's like a little process in itself. The radio, I mean, how they try and shove things down your throat every 15 minutes. I mean, if my dog was at my leg every 15 minutes, I'd be pissed off after a couple of hours. Yeah. Never mind about 6-7 hours in the evening, just sucking up to it. I was fed up with telly anyway before I discovered this. It never, you know, it's like I'd watch programs and I'd feel heavy-hearted after watching them, or I'd feel drained from it, you know, from the drama in your life. And it seems people do like that drama.
Yeah.
The drama is chaos, and who wants chaos in their life?
No, I mean, well, for me, I think chaos is not so much a bad thing. It's a confusion. I've said that a few times. You know, it's these confusing things that are happening that are the problem. And the main one, obviously, being disorientated and not knowing exactly where we are, which is the root cause of the majority of this, you know. You're right about the TV, you know, I realised that a long time ago. Then it's just all subliminal, playing on your emotions, you know, and draining you and making you, you know, think different thoughts. So for me, I had to switch it off and pay it no attention whatsoever. It's not rooted in anything, it's just there to perpetuate the same mindsets and keep you at the same emotional level, you know.
Yeah, you have to remember on these hangouts, I think, that when you agree with somebody, it actually switches the picture, doesn't it? So it seems like you might be butting in, but you're not. You're just in agreement.
Aye, it's just a wee noise. If I make a noise with like the lighter or something, you know, it'll click back and forwards. It's, I don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty empty on caught on that at the minute. I've always promised myself I'd come on and say a few things. Nothing different to what anybody else is saying, I'm sure. Them that are grounded with themselves and not deluded in some way about what life means. And I don't know. I feel the poorer I've got, the more awake, the more alive I feel. Actually, to be honest with you, because I've had the good jobs, the well-paid jobs and everything, and they just seem to suck everything out of me. To be honest, so I've stopped chasing, mate. Really, the cars, the dreams, the holidays, why am I doing it? It never made me happy anyway. So, I just sort of, and it does make you withdraw from life a little bit for a start. It does. But as me personally, that's the effect it's had on me. I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, it's made me withdraw on life a little bit and look at a bigger picture, if you like.
Yeah, well, that's it. What you're saying, I hear this as well. We're withdrawing from life, and well, what is this life that we're withdrawing from? It's not that you're withdrawing from life. You're withdrawing from an idea. You're withdrawing from, a structure that you were born into. It's not that I'm not withdrawing from life. I'm still very much involved in it. It's just that I'm not involved in any of these ideologies or any of these structures that tell me how I should live life, what life's about, what's important, what's not important. Yeah.
Yes, I'm there, mate. Yeah, sorry, mate. I didn't know if it was. So I'm not watching it live, so I know that can be a bit annoying for you on the other side when we've got tellies on and something else. So I thought I'm switching it all off before we start, so I don't like to sort of fool. You know what I mean? And I'm not the best for this sort of stuff. Like I say, I'm a 70s child, so I'm a bit cumbersome with technology. Really, I'm more often getting with it and break it.
But yeah, I'll say that to you as well, just to remind people, there's no urgency for people to come in and divulge every thought. There's plenty of time here. We're going to be here for however long, and people are more than welcome to come back, and bring up different topics, or if they remember something that they were going to say, they can always come back and say it. So just don't feel that pressure like you have to get everything out in one go.
Yes, mate. Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So I should shut on then, Del. I've done what I've always wanted to do. Come on and just have a little bit of a say and just say where I'm at with things. But I've still got no definite at all. There's no. I mean, obviously, I know. I don't know what I'm living on, but I definitely know from the water that it must be flat in some way and it must be a container. From that point, the rest is just mush. So
exactly.
It has to evaluate the way I live my life and the way I look at things. And yeah, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing, definitely. So I don't even know how to do my call. Do I just press the red? So I've never done this before. Do I just press the red on the phone? Or
if you want to leave, you just press the wee red button and that'll take you back out.
Yeah. Lovely. Okay, then I'll just say hi to everyone and thanks very much for having me on. And like I say, I haven't really added in any way. It's just
No, you have. You have added, mate. This is what it's about. It's about everyday common people letting us know about them and that they're there and how they're experiencing and feeling about stuff. So it's much appreciated and it's much valued, mate. So don't play it down like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely pushing. I mean, I've had all my family nailed to the wall, friends, and I'm definitely pushing. It's always on the edge of my tongue to talk about it, to enlighten people so they can be free of thinking and not not stuck in this is the way I should be and that's the way I should live, this is what I should have, blah blah blah. But I'll end it there, Del. Have a nice evening. I'll join then and start watching, obviously. So but thank you for having me on. Thank you, Marshall, for sending me the link, and hi to Merrill, obviously, popular guy. Thank you.
Hey, Mac. Well done. Thanks, man.
I'm going to see a conversation going on the old
He broke up there.
Bye.
Cheers, bud. I'm getting a back. Yeah, was that maybe you?
Is that me, is it?
Yeah, it started happening when you. It was gone there. It was fine just before you muted the mic there.
I'll
Seemed to have.
Just put it back on. Is it all right now?
No, it's back. It's back. Just check that. That's definitely you, mate. As soon as you unmute yourself, there's some echo happening.
How about
1, 2, testicles. Big blue testicles in space. Big blue testicles in space. 1, 2, 3.
that? Is that all right? Aye.
Aye, we're fine now, mate. How's things?
Aye, all right. Aye, I'm good, thanks. I'm just
Aye.
enjoying hearing the guys calling in, and so.
I was saying a wee bit about last night. You know, how did you think? What did you think of that?
Same thing. I'm not sure what kind of impact we made, but you know, I'm not sure what the audience is like, and obviously they had other things. It was a kind of 24-hour live stream for the benefit of somebody, so we were just a part of that. But it was good to, you know, have the opportunity and be able to get our message out. So that's all I can. So that's all we can kind of hope for. But I must say, I feel really glad to be home at BITIC or BTIC, and knowing that, you know, we've got a great audience here and great people listening and joining in. So yeah, feels better to be home, to be honest. Not that we went anywhere, you know, just virtually, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's difficult, you know, when people have invited us and they are what they are. You know, we have to kind of live and let them, you know, wander away with our chat. But for me, it was a bit frustrating, to be honest. You know, because you know how it is for me, and obviously yourself. You know, there's no need for all these other topics to be flung in, like religion and the Bible and.
Yeah, we had the kitchen sink thrown at us. I thought, yeah, there was from vegan to Holocaust to everything came up, didn't it? So yeah, it wasn't exactly conversations I wanted to have, but yeah, I mean, I understand it's their platform, so they get to choose. So but I was in a kind of no nonsense mood, but yeah, but well,
yeah, you live and learn,
man, huh? So
that's it. But you know, that point again, you know, we heard it being said, well, if the Earth's flat, the Bible's true, and or this religion's true, and we'll, you know, again, that's a total fallacy. You know, nobody's here's going to ever claim any of that kind of stuff.
They were making some hyper jumps, some logical or fallacy hyper jumps. I thought, yeah. But I mean, you know, my stance on that is that, you know, all these thoughts need to be shelved until we actually have the real knowledge of where we actually are, right? So you know, I can only support what you always say: get the full exploration, find out where we are, and that'll take us a stick closer, right, to any of the other questions that we have. But until people pull together and get that one sorted out, and we have a critical mass, I just feel all these other topics are distracting, you know. And this is still the one that, you know, everybody can prove for themselves. Everybody can have their own natural, you know, observations, experiences, and all these other ones where you've got to rely on hearsay and secondhand testimony. And, you know, it's as you say, it's never going to have any resolve. So you're just going round in circles, right? And the sooner everybody realizes that thing and sticks to the one topic, you know, natural science and, you know, common sense, then, you know, I just don't see it going further otherwise, yeah. So.
That attitude's based, you know, that's for the globe and it's cult, you know. I mean, it's stories from 2,000 years ago, stories from 400 years ago, fucking Eratosthenes, shadows, fucking. I mean, if people are not seeing that as a religious control cult, I mean, I don't know how they're ever going to break free for that. There's still those that keep pushing this nonsense, although it's been fucking, you know, dealt with so many times. You know, particularly the Eratosthenes thing with the shadows and going different directions. I mean, what an absolute absurdity. You know, and then they still laud these people as being some sort of great minds. You know, he's not a fucking great mind if you never thought to yourself, well, I better, you know, think to myself, what if the light source is local? You know, it's an absolute fucking moron that sees two shadows in different directions and thinks, oh, it's a ball. I mean, that's an umpty, not somebody that's to be looked up to.
Yep, And as I say, yeah, you've said this before, and I can only confirm it, that, you know, most of these things that they throw at us, it's all just imagery. You know, and nearly 100% of the so-called proofs that they try to give us have to do with, you know, images, right? Or, you know, or assumptions on images. You know, the Aristosthenes is, you know, they're saying it's parallel light, and that's what, you know, causes the shadow. That's their assumption. But if you assume a small local source that goes out that way, then you can get the exact same results. So, you know, their proof is nothing, right? It's just one possible explanation, depending on what you think or what you say your definitions and your assumptions are, you know.
Exactly.
And none of them are based in self-evident truths, if you ask me. Yeah, that's the difference. If you've got natural science, then you can actually find out for yourself, you know, what is self-evident to you, you know, and that's the thing that should really count to everybody, because we can all agree on that. Yeah,
that's it. And even if people want to go and do that search, you type in the best 10 proofs you live in a globe. I'm sure we've covered it before, and that's number one, images.
Yeah.
You know, which, for anybody with any kind of critical thought or investment in any real science, would know that that's a total absurdity.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah, I can only pull it back to my favourite saying, I think, from Thomas Reid again. You know, you can argue from facts against a hypothesis, but you can't argue from, you know, you can't argue with a hypothesis against the facts. Yep. So, you know, every time they show an image which contradicts the fact that water is always level, all you can do is laugh at it and throw it out of the park. It's not even science, right? I mean, people have got to understand that, you know, it's not even science. You can't even classify it as science, you know?
It's a science of sophism.
Yeah.
You could class it as a science, but it's no, you know, the science that we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, the quicker everybody sees that, and I mean people over the pond and, you know, elsewhere in Europe or the world, the better, because I think that's the one we can unite behind, yeah,
yep.
Individually and collectively, yeah.
And that's it. I'll get back to that again. You know, images don't trump natural physics.
No.
You know, and it's that simple for people. People are so caught up. The majority, the 95% of people out there who are, you know, it's a fucking globe, you're retard. You know, it's based on fucking the TV, and that is it.
Yeah.
You know? Never experienced it themselves. So it doesn't need to be a long-winded, strung-out debate with complexities and fucking priests in high places debating with each other, you know, over and over through years. It just comes down to simplistic stuff.
Yep. Well, the objective truth again. There is no double truth. You know, there's only a single one, and it's objective for all of us, right? And yeah, we've all got subjective things as well in our heads, right? That's not to be denied, but the ones we all need to look at are the objective ones we can all agree on. Yeah. And that's where natural science starts. You know, that's the foundation of our knowledge. So, you know, anything else is just nonsense, you know.
Anything that we're doing as a community, whether it be a small community or up to a large scale, you know, country, the things that are going on between us must be based on empirical facts. It has to come back to that. You know, you're just opening yourself up to corruption left, right and centre, which we can see every single day.
Yep.
You know? The majority of the... Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, you go, mate.
I was just going to one mention there in these images. I've heard quite a lot of people talking about this. I can't even remember how to pronounce the name. The Himijami, I don't know, weather satellite.
Himawari.
Okay, right. Cheers. That's supposed to be independent of everything else, right? You know, as if that's some kind of argument that we would really believe. You know. You know, you keep, you know, like, okay, we say all the NASA and all the other space agency are telling, you know, fibs, and then they pull out this other one, which, well, but this one's independent, you know, as if that's still some kind of argument, you know, completely missing the point again, that it's still an image, right, that can be faked, and it's got nothing to do with any measurable curvature down here, right? It's it's amazing how they still keep pulling these arguments, yeah. But, you know, the good thing is, I think, well, Scotland's wakened up to it, and I hope there's lots more people over the world. Sorry, this isn't just for the Scots, this is for everybody, but yeah.
You can see it.
Gives me hope, yeah.
Yeah. And the desperation, again, back to the sophism, I seen it on, I think it was Facebook today or yesterday, some character, you know, oh, look at this flatards, you know, and they've got a telescope, they're videoing through a telescope, and they're moving the camera up, down, you know, trying to get this effect, and then waiting for the swell to come in, and you know, these people are really getting desperate now, you know, and you keep pointing out to them, look, you spanner, the water is no convex, it's no curving round any shape. Water doesn't behave like that. So there's something wrong with your image, what you're trying to achieve here.
Yep.
You know, there's sophistry in it. You're looking for confirmation bias, because I can guarantee you that the body of water you're looking over is no rotund, you know, unless there's a swell coming in.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. I mean, they cherry pick these things to try and, you know, bolster their arguments or you know, keep up their sophism. But you know, I think it's failing badly. You know, that it's getting worse and worse. You know, it's actually an insult to people's intelligence now. I think, you know, the way they're still trying to reel that stuff out. So it's a losing battle for them, if you ask me. Because, you know, you can't deny common sense, and the more people wake up to it and realize it, then, you know, even those fools are going to get carried downstream, right? These idiots that are still trying the sophistry, you know. So, you know, it's a losing battle. It's just a matter of time now, if you ask me. And the quicker the bloody better, man. So
tell me about it. I'm not reserving myself to this generation. It's going to take 50 years. Fuck that.
No, me neither. It won't take that long.
No, based on what I've seen. So,
as I say, the more people wake up to that difference between tangibles and visibles, and what's real, you know. I mean, you know, that's kind of the stuff that I'm trying to research or investigate more and more, just so that we can, you know, show it up for what it is, you know, ideas or things that people don't realize, how their eye works, how the curvature mathematics is actually in your eye. It's not anywhere on the earth, right? You know, I'm trying my best to expose that to make sure that, you know, even academics can see through the nonsense that they believe, the same way I did, right? You know, I mean, I can only always look back 4 years ago and think, you fucking idiot, you know? But I'm just so glad that I'm over it.
I've got somebody here. I've just clicked on the wee bell lit up there, and it's some twat, John Lewis. You people use GPS, right? You don't even know why or how it works. Do you want to say branch? Oops, I'm getting a really bad feedback.
It's not me, is it?
I'm not sure, mate. Well, here's the thing. John Lewis. I've got right. This book is from the fucking 1936, right? Now it talks about triangulation and how they contacted the aeroplanes that were flying. It talks about how they made maps, and pretty much they go up in fucking aeroplanes, they take strips of images, and then they put it all together. Now, you don't think they can just piece that together and then put it into some program so that they're then telling the gullible twats like you that think, oh, I'm getting a direct link from a fucking satellite. No, the information's all there. They've mapped it out, and the ground is level. High bits and low points, right? GPS, using these things to guide you about, you know, the mapped out plane that you're on, which was done well before any of your supposed fucking satellites, right? I lost my point there.
No, I think your point was well made, Del. That, you know, GPS is not something that relies on satellites. I mean, the whole thing is based on older technology that's been around for a lot longer.
Yep.
And, you know, because we can get more accurate signals, is just testimony to the more devices from which we can triangulate nowadays, including everybody's mobile phone that they walk around with in their pockets. Yep. So the increase in accuracy is more to do with the increase in devices on towers, but none of this technology relies on satellites, you know, so it's a false argument again, And I mean, if you think everybody in the flat earth community doesn't research and can't read, and doesn't know how to look at scientific evidence, then, you know, he's well off the mark. I don't know what the guy's name was, but
John Lewis or fucking something. Again, your maps, your compass navigation is based on planar geometry, right? Because it's a level fucking plane you exist on, not a curvy round ball. Merrill, how are you?
Good.
All right, mate.
Yeah, it's funny earlier tonight. Sorry, Gav. It's just a continuation, but I'm standing in front of the washing machine today. It's going through its cycles, and all the washing's wet. It's sopping so much water. The last cycle is the spin cycle. Starts spinning where all that water just flies off. That's how you get rid of it. Spin it.
Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting about this globe thing. Everything about it debunks itself.
Yeah.
It debunks itself once you understand it, because that's what isn't like, yeah, oh, flat tard, meaning that you haven't got a brain and you know, it doesn't work properly. Whereas go a little further, maybe there's an understanding.
Yeah. Well, again, Meryl, these are everyday experiences of people that tell us how reality operates. But we have to suspend that knowing and everyday practical experience, because, you know, these priests are telling us that on a bigger scale, it's all reversed and it's different. You know? It's just fucking lunacy. You know, it's the simple claims like that. What happens when you put stuff on a ball and spin it? Oh, that's right, everything fucking flies off. Unless you're fucking Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Suction cups.
Mhm. You just don't get it. You just don't get it.
Hey, hi Mel.
G'day, Gav.
Back to there. Good day.
I can't help it. You can't take the Australian out of an Australian.
Is it early for you?
Yeah, it's 5:40 a.m.
Good man. That's
Yeah.
dedication. I like that.
Yeah. Yep. And again, Mum's watching TV on Saturday. What comes on? Planet Earth, that big one. And it's just like you say, Del. There's a snow leopard on the rocks. It eats someone's ass out. They flash to some birds flying around trying to get an air current. And then they cut to a massive wide screen of Earth with the curve. Just slipped it right in there. Bam. It's the knockout punch.
That's a subliminal.
Yeah, they drop it in. Widescreen.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The whole fucking program's not interesting. It's that they're not interested in anything else. It's just to slip in these subliminal parts. Yeah. Well, at the same time, getting you to love this life. Oh, isn't it amazing and wonderful? What a lovely gift. Look at that, eating that's ass while it's still alive. Oh, it's such a wonderful place. What a gift. What a joy. Loving creator that loves everything. Yeah, fucking lunacy.
It is weird because, like the caller was saying, it's your thoughts that change. Like something you might have watched when you were a little kid with fascination and wonder and awe. Now I'm looking at it as an adult going, what the fuck is this? So it's just interesting how you can develop. I guess that's maturing. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just moving through the delusional thoughts that you have, and you know, it seems to be part of, you know, our nature, whatever you want to call that, where you're enthusiastic, you're keen to know and learn, and everything's amazing, and you know, you may well go with that your whole life, but for me personally, you know, it's different. You know, I think a bit deeper and I analyse things differently. So when I see what they call nature and they call it beautiful and amazing and a gift, I mean, you know, I'm going to stick to my guns and say it's a fucking abomination. It's a total absurdity. It's a total absurdity for people to turn around and tell me that some loving, you know, bearded man made it all for me, you know, so that I can come here and suffer along with the arse-eating animals.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that one too. I mean, I do have, you know, awe and wonder at the machinery that's been built, or the constructions that they have, you know. If you think of the human eye, or, you know, certain animals, or, you know, all these things are wonderful to look at, right? You know, a brilliant piece of engineering. But the intent and motive behind it, you do have to question and say, well, wait a fucking minute, you know. what's this all about, you know?
Exactly.
So separate these two things, yeah.
I think that's important what you just said there. That's the separation for me, exactly that. You know, I have got on wonder about this place and the machinery and the mechanisms of it, but you know, the nature of it and the things that people tell themselves about it is for me, you know, it's questionable.
Yep.
Huh.
No, absolutely. And then they give us all these things that we're supposed to cling on to and hold on to. You know, it'll only be another 100,000 years and we'll be out in space, you know, and we'll find a better planet, you know, another one to live on. And, you know, and people cling to those beliefs. You know, I mean, it's not going to change anything in their lifetime. So I don't even know why they embrace it, right?
Yep.
It's you know, it's so useless to them, right? All these promises of the future. You know, I mean, it's like buying an insurance, right? You know, it's all just, you know, you're supposed to cash it in at the end, you know. What fucking good's that to you, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're just always dangling the carrot right out there in front of you. You
Yep.
know, that you're never going to get.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we need a holiday?
Where do you want to go?
That's what I've started to think. Like, if you're on, we're all on Earth, yeah. Like, we're all on the same place, as far as I know. I don't know if I'm in another dimension in Australia, but we're all on the level, you know. And I don't want to run away and hide under my bed. I'm too old for that.
Yeah. That's same for me, mate. It's time that people just faced up to this. You know, started asking the real fucking questions.
Yep. That was one of these questions that come up also in the show, you know. It doesn't make any difference to me whether it's round or flat, you know. That's the one where you really want to shake people, isn't it, you know? But again, it's maybe difficult for them to understand that, you know, this whole problem is the foundation of all the other problems, right? As you say, if we have no grounding, if we don't know where we are, if there's bewilderment and confusion, then, you know, what more can you expect, you know, from life then, yeah? So when people say that, that really still gets me irritated, you know. I mean, all you can do is walk away at that point, really, you know, because anything else is confrontational, but it's still the one that you really want to shake people out of, isn't it?
Aye, and it's a difficult one because it's hard, like, just like you say, and it's easy for me to say as well, they just don't get it, and then it's like you're given the impression of, well, you think you're some high and mighty. No, I mean, it comes down to contemplation, and I can logically go through these things and have a discussion with you, and if you've got anything to say against it, you know, then bring it. You know, I'm willing to have that conversation, but for people to come to me and just say, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, well, after then entertain that thought, and that you've to get, you know, precedence over what I'm actually saying, so you know better than me. I mean, no, this doesn't work like that. If people are doing the actual work, then just people like yourself can concur. You arrive at these places, you know, and you these realizations that we can then relate to each other. And it's true, you know, without that, it means fuck all. You know, your life's a delusion, the ideas that you have, you know, your career, your family, you know, your morals, everything. It's all based on an idea, because you don't know where you are, you don't know what the game is, you know. And I'll use the analogy again, you know, if I blindfold you and stick you in a fucking tennis court and tell you that the game's fucking, you know, American football, you know, you're going to be running about, tripping over the net, making an arse of yourself, fucking running into everybody. I mean, it's not going to make any fucking sense. You know? And you're going to turn around and tell me I'm having a great life, this is life, you know, playing rugby on a fucking tennis court. I mean,
well, oi, I'll slow you down for 1 second, right? Because contemplation is key. Because when we sit down and start talking to each other, you get to sort stuff out. All that stuff that's racing around in your head, you know. So anyway, the people who live across the road from me, one day I just putting my bins out, I looked at them and I just looked at them and I just went, check out Flat Earth. Just went bam across the road. They ran inside. It was like boom, boom, started looking at it, conversation unfolded. over the course of about 2 days, we talked about it to the point where at the end, they threw me out of their joint. And was going, fuck off. The Lutheran Bible is flat. Just was like, what? And I just said, oh, at least you're being honest, and just left. I just let it cool down for a couple of weeks. Saw them again recently. They've totally come round to it. They haven't got it all figured out. It just took a little while for them to sit with it.
Yeah.
But there was that initial knee-jerk freak out. Like, they hadn't thought about it. It was like, whoa, there's too much. It was it rocks the foundation. If all you've got's the globe and you've never considered anything else, because I can say that personally was my story, it does rock your world. Fuck you. That's what happens. Sorry. Love you, everyone. But there's another side to it. There's another side to it too. You got to get real.
Yeah.
So there you go.
What's up, mate? It's just a finding anything that you took to be true. Any assumption that you have that has that effect on you. Gav, I think you're muted there. I think we're getting feedback. It must be coming through your system somehow.
Your microphone's too powerful, Gav.
I'll just go back on. Can you hear it now?
Yep.
You seem to be all right now.
I don't know. I haven't changed anything. Just been sitting here quiet, so.
Aye.
Strange.
Sorry, guys. I'm just going to see what's going on here in this phone. Oh, somebody's phoning. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, speaking. Sorry, man. I can't hear anything. It's as if you're underwater.
Oh, really?
That's you. That's you now.
That's okay. Hi, well, my name's Barry. I'm sitting here in Scotland. I followed up for a couple of years. Yeah, I'm a friend of yours, on your website. I've got a couple of posts about a couple of things, and you thought it went well. I don't know if you remember it, but I was wrong. I made a really bad decision. I just seen the start here that I posted it up. It was obviously wrong.
What was that?
So
Sorry.
just to let you know. Say again?
What was that? Did you say it was deleted?
It was deleted off the website. But I took it with you. It was obviously, I can't remember it. It was deleted though. It was now, I think it was created spam or whatever it was.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. Hey, the thing I'm trying to say is, I'm an ex-martial artist. I represented Scotland at the World Championships in London many years ago. I'm an old guy now.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Sun Tzu, The Art of War?
I've read bits and bobs yet.
Aye, because usually the best way to lead a revolution is to infiltrate it.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, just to let you know that J.D. Witherspoon is actually part of the what do you call it, society. It's run by the British government and the Celibacy Banks, and BBC is on 24/7. As long as it's on, BBC is on it. Now, I would suggest, I was going to come through today, but it's too far from me. Maybe about 5 or 5 minute drive, so you need to get the bus with my pension of that. Now, it maybe would make sense to actually have it at maybe central station, so it was more easy for people to meet up at a pub or something like that nearby.
Yeah.
Like obviously, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Now, if you remember back to America when they were fighting the Viet Cong, what was happening there was the Americans were fighting in chess moves, and the Viet Cong were doing go moves. So this should actually be applied to what you're doing, sons of theirs, basically, and bring up a better tactic to attack. It's, let's say, your BBC ventures and all the rest of it. They're great. They're absolutely great. It's just my opinion, Dale. It's something to look at again.
Well, that's it.
I would just like to apologise for putting that video up and get deleted, because obviously I made a mistake and put it up.
Aye, no bother, man.
Right, cheers. See you, Dale. See you, Dale.
Right. Thanks for phoning, man.
Bye.
But that is it. You know, I've always said that we need to use the same tools that they have been using to keep people in ignorance. Regarding God, I remember Stephen Fry when asked if he believed in a God, and his reply was, if an insect can bore its way into a child's brain and render that child brain dead, then there is no God. Well, that's it. Just as we discussed there, you know, with Gav, for me there's wonders in the creation itself, the mechanics of life and how things work, the construct. But the nature of it, just as that point you've made there, for me, for people to call that something loving and understanding and empathetic, you know, I just don't get how people can align themselves with these kinds of ideologies based on, again, observed reality, actual practical reality. It's telling you something different, you know, but people don't want to go there. It's like, oh, don't take my idea of life being a wonderful gift away from me. Well, I'm not trying to rob anybody of that, but at the same time, they're trying to tell me that, oh, life's valuable, life's great, it's precious, it's wonderful. When I'm simply putting that, you know, the question back at them, well, this is my observations. I don't see it as that. You know, as I've made the point many times before, there is wonders here. It's fascinating how it came to be, how it works, the mechanics of it, but the nature of it is a fucking abomination from my point of view. Some people might align with it and embrace it. That's up to them. But I don't accept it in any way, shape or form.
And one of the things that first made me stupid. Hello?
Yeah, there, mate. I can hear you.
Oh, it was echoing my side.
All right, so it's no yours, Gav. It must just be something that's fluctuating here. I don't know.
Yeah. I was just going to say, oh wait, it's all right.
Dave, how you doing, man?
Hello, Mike Check.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, how's it going? Nice
Good,
to finally talk to you, Dale. I've been listening to you talk for a couple of years now. So, hey, Gav and Marshall, Merle, everybody. How's it going?
Yeah, good, man. Good. How's yourself?
Yeah, I just want to get on here. You know, people call this the echo chamber, but I can't echo about sticking to natural science and, you know, the flat water and what we can test and prove with scientific experiment, you know.
Yeah.
So
you can call that an echo chamber. You can call it an echo chamber.
When I got into this,
sorry, man.
Yeah. I mean, when I got into this a couple of years ago, I mean, I woke up pretty much after. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I woke up pretty much after I woke up to this a couple of years ago. I got into this seeking real truth, and I know you guys are that. You know, you're not here to. You're trying to cut through all the BS and get to the point. I appreciate that. And especially just wanted to say that. And you know how we all get to make a living. I just recently became a. Well, it's a new technology cab driver. I'm an Uber driver. You guys have Uber there in Scotland?
Yeah, I think it's here now.
Instead of calling a taxi. Yeah, anyway. I have like 40, 50, yeah, I got like 40, 50 people in the cab with me every night, and I've been trying to, you know, drop some little red pills to them or some truth about the Kirby water, and it doesn't make any sense for the, you know, massive oceans to stick in a ball. And I've had a couple, you know, 9 out of 10 people get in the cab with me got their face stuck in their phone. They didn't want to even listen to me. They want me to get them from point A to point B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But You guys got any advice for how to break the ice with some of my passengers? And bear in mind, a lot of them are college kids because I drive around a college campus. So, you guys got any ideas for me? I'm just trying to do my little part to spread the word. You know, I want to get people awake to this. And everybody asking the same question. You know, what about this Kirby water stuff? Go ahead, man. Sorry.
Just being indirect, I think, man. It's dropping it in subtly. I mean, if you're driving a cab, I mean, that would be a perfect opportunity of maybe a wee bit of information in the back seat or on the back of the headrest or something. I don't know, something just to trigger them. So it's no.
As long as they wouldn't get me in trouble with Uber.
Well,
you know, I mean, Uber is my boss, but you know, I don't want to get any legal issues with them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about putting a little sticker on the back of the headrest. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, just to get them questioning, you know, asking me questions or whatever. I mean, one approach I've tried, and see what you think of it. I just say I've been listening to some podcasts, and there's people on the internet that think we don't live on a globe, and just see what they say. You know, that's a good way to break the ice with them, right?
That's it. Again, that's an indirect approach. You know, that's always a good one. It's like asking them, you know, I'm hearing about this thing, and then, you know, what have you heard about this? You know, without actually approaching them with telling them anything, you know, and just let them rattle off their own. You know, and then you can act that, oh, well, you know, I heard that, but I looked at this and, you know, that showed me something different, and it can lead into the conversation. The most important thing is to be indirect with people, I think, you know.
Right. Well, for what it's worth, since I got a little bit of audience here, I have been putting it on my channel. I'm doing a live broadcast, and I'm driving around in my cab. And if I get any good conversations going, I've been broadcasting. I've got one that's on, you know, Poncho Pete, don't you?
I know that.
Yeah. But I had like a 20-minute conversation. This guy who's a dentist and a pilot. And when I hit the point about dipping his nose down, you could see the little aha moment in his eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He never thought about that before, and he was a pilot. And he's like, he knew he saw curvature, and I was like, are you really seeing curvature really in the high altitude balloon footage? And he's, you know, you can tell when you got somebody on the hook, they're really interested. You know it, you've seen it on the streets.
Yeah.
But when that really freaked him out, we had like a 20-minute cab ride, and I think I woke somebody up. You know, it gives you a good feeling when you actually get somebody to look at it objectively.
Excellent, man.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time, but I want to say hi to everybody and just show support that I'm trying to spread the truth what I can. I'm just a simple working man. You know, I live here in Kentucky. You know where Kentucky's at, right?
Yeah.
Like right in the middle, like below Ohio, Tennessee. You know much about the states. I'm like Midwest. I'm actually, we were just in the path of totality. I got to see 87% of that eclipse, but
what did you make
it
of
was.
that?
I mean, my gut, you know, I have no way of proving what's in the sky, you know, but my gut tells me that wasn't the moon. I mean, it just didn't seem like the moon going in front of the sun. You know, it didn't, it felt like something different, but, you know, that's total speculation, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just appreciate what you guys are doing here. And, you know, I like how you stick to the points, you stick to the basic natural physics of water and, you know, the natural sciences. Like, just that, you see, the last thing I saw in mainstream media was that ODD did an interview, and the headline on that was, "These flat earthers deny natural science." And that's the opposite of what they're doing, you know. They're actually trying to get people to do natural science instead of, you know, believe all this hypothetical crap that they came up with in a math room or whatever.
That's really funny that they've actually used that wording. Flat earth deny natural science. That is quite interesting.
It's interesting to see any mainstream person, they always go to tag something to put that ridicule factor in there, you know, to try to discourage people. Right, go ahead, Mark.
ODD says to the reporter at the end, are you going to look into this and check it out? And the reporter says, no, I can't.
Yeah, he's not even going to look at it, he said.
Yeah, yeah, not even going to. He couldn't. He actually couldn't bring himself to look at it.
Right, he can't entertain the idea of looking at real facts. You know,
yeah. Exactly. He's the reality denier.
Right. He's a typical globe believer.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the classroom. We all know it's a globe. You're an idiot. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I get all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go up to cashiers at the store and I buy a pack of smokes or something. There's people on the internet that think it's that we don't live on a globe, and they're like, oh, they're crazy, man. I know it's a globe. You know, I've been in an airplane. I've seen curvature at 35,000 feet. Oh yeah.
I've seen the pictures.
It's what we're fighting against. Like I said, 9 out of 10 of my cab riders got their face buried in their cell phone. And they just don't even want to acknowledge that I exist. You know, they just want me to get them before they're going. GMs every now and then they actually want to have a conversation, especially when they're a little more inebriated in the evening. You know, and I actually get some people thinking about it. You know, for every person I get thinking about it, maybe they're telling a friend or two, maybe they're telling a friend or two. And then eventually we get to a point where there's so many people asking this question that they got to do something about it. That's what I hope, you know.
Well,
Exactly. It can only be exponential. If everybody's got 5 friends and they've all got 5 friends and they've got 5 friends, then, you know, it's...
Everybody shares it on their Facebook or whatever they're doing, these kids today, you know, all that crap.
Yeah.
Twittering it out and all that, you know. But I like how you guys cut through all the bullshit, excuse the word, but, you know, all this different rabbit holes everybody's going down. Go ahead, Mark. But
There's
you know,
so much bullshit.
oh, I know. I
You know,
mean, if you try to keep up with this flat earth stuff, you're gonna blow your mind. You know, you got to let some of this crap just go and roll. You know, you don't even pay attention to it because you'll get so lost. You have no focus. You have no purpose, right?
And they've done a great job of this. You know,
Right.
the flat earth community and just lumping everybody under one umbrella, like we're all the same, we're all coming from the same angle, and it's really not true. There's so many different factions, but that's
I
deliberate.
wish we'd all of us would just, sorry, Dave, I wish we'd all just come from the angle of the natural physics of water. You know, the outstanding claim lies with the globe. I know you said this many times, but they're the ones making the claim they would live on a spinning ball. So where's the proof?
Exactly.
Where? You know,
Exactly, mate.
we all can stick to that and let all this other bullshit go. Maybe we can get somewhere. You know, and I'm just chiming in that I agree with you guys and just keep speaking truth. Okay.
Nice one, Dave.
I'll let somebody else get on. I got to get my cab ready for the road. I got to vacuum it out and everything. So. But I'll be live later on if anybody wants to check it out. Maybe I'll get a conversation going.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm looking forward to you getting it down to 5 minutes. Like, get 4 of them in half an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do like an 8-hour recording, and then whatever I capture, I'll turn it into a video, you know. That way people don't have to sit there and search through 8 hours. I know nobody wants to do that.
Yeah. Is your channel just Dave Hinkle?
Yeah, just my name, Dave Hinkle, and a little symbol with a globe with a strike through it. It means no globe, because right now, for 2.5 years, I believe there is no globe, and nobody's shown me anything different. And that's one other thing I wanted to mention. It's telling to me that it's been like, what, 3 months since you had somebody actually come in here and try to engage you and prove the globe to you?
Yep.
Doesn't that say something to you right there?
Exactly.
So
we're all these scientists and experts that are coming with actual proof that doesn't exist.
Right. All you guys is these sophist guys with their gravity and bullshit, you know.
Yep.
It means nothing.
Yep.
But
exactly.
Anyway, it's good to chat with you guys. Gav, I love everything you do, man. Keep it up. Marshall at the controls. Merle, you've really inspired me, and now this channel has inspired me to get more active because I felt like just the crazy guy that nobody wants to talk to, but now it's all we can do, right?
Exactly, mate. Nice one.
I'm going to be on. So you guys have a good day.
Cheers, bud.
Hi, everybody in the chat.
See you, man.
Nice one, Dave. See you there, man.
All right, Glenn.
Got another guy upside down.
Good day, Joe. Hey, Gav, go Marshall, go Merle, go Dave. I thought I'd just pop in and let you know that if the purpose of this get-together is to wake people up. It's working. You just woke me up. Ah.
I think the guys are just getting distracted with that message coming in there. So, how's things, Glenn? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Barely awake at the moment, but getting there.
The pool was too much for you.
I had a bit of a decent session with Gav earlier. And,
what kind of session are we talking about here, Glenn? I think you better elaborate a wee bit before people start putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5. You know?
Just a wee chat. Just a wee chat.
Right.
You mean like 5 hours? Yeah. But just and one thing you were talking about there earlier on, or just a second ago, these words that they're co-opting, you know, you can see that a lot in the community. These, you know, where they're picking up, you know, what's been said here, natural science, common sense, realism, and trying to occupy these words, right? Trying to make them into their own and spin them. Huh? You know, I think that's something everybody needs to be wary of, that when they go other places and see these words being used, that they get used correctly and not, you know, in some way, you know, how should I say, like we were talking the last time, you know, the argument from illusion, you can't trust your senses. You know, I definitely want to tell everybody to be wary of the people who are now coming and spouting that, right, after it's been said here for 3 years. And just to be very wary.
That's what I found interesting about Dave saying there, if that was correct, about the end of this article, and it was titled, you know, Flat Earthers Deny Natural Science, because up until, you know, we started really pounding that, for me especially, even in years going by, not once did I ever hear anybody, you know, referring to science and its parts or its categories. It was just science. Science says this, science says that, science says this, that, and the next. It wasn't definitions like natural science. So I think that's very curious to hear that if that is indeed true, that they've actually put that word in there, and they're now trying to, you know, hijack it as theirs when they don't have any fucking natural science. If they're going to say their natural science is based purely in visibles, fine, but that's not enough.
Absolutely. You know? Yep. And I mean, that's all they have is basically the formal sciences and images, right? That's what they've based their whole theories on. So, yeah, I mean, they've got to try and co-opt it, I suppose, right? Because it's gaining so much ground.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I think we just need to be wary of it, or other people looking at other stuff need to be wary of it.
Well, that's just down to us and anybody else out there who understands it and represents the actual truth to keep our voice and keep it going. You know, regardless of whether we're here or not, people, if you're getting it, you need to stand up for it. That's important, you know.
Yep. The language is definitely one of their weapons of mass deception.
Yeah, but you can see that, as Gav says, I'm not trying to confuse this issue by taking the term natural science and, oh, you can't trust your senses, and then using a cherry-picked example of, you know, squiggly lines when they're really parallel lines or whatever it might be, you know, and totally misrepresenting everything that we're actually saying. You know, when we clearly state there's a difference between visibles and tangibles, but you can see them, they're going to have to co-opt it and try and twist it, you know, because they're being called, these are the very people who have spouted this over the last 20 years especially, science, 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 and science is the new God and it has all the answers and blah, 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 and everybody was swept up with that, me included, until I actually started to investigate it, and you realise the subdivisions and what they actually mean. You know, so they were never putting that out there and educating people. So as again, you know, it's very curious now that they're actually taking these words, these terminologies, and trying to use them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the differentiation is clear for anybody coming here. You know, we've talked about it so many times, right? That discernment, formal science, natural science, and yeah, that's what they have to do. Is they have to try and now occupy it for themselves, right? Take it over, because you know they know they're in a losing battle, if you ask me. It's actually good to see. It's all good signs, if you ask me, that it's all going in the right direction. So we just need to be continuously wary of what's going on.
Yeah, they're having to adapt. You know, they're constant pounding of the word global. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's just because I've been away from mainstream media and newspapers and TV for so long, or whether they are actually ramping it up, because it seems like everywhere you turn, this word global is hitting you right in the fucking face, whether it be, you know, a sports title or a nature title or whatever it is, global is flung in there, you know? So, signs of the desperation.
Yep, repetition. They hope they can still, you know, keep repeating the mantra, and somehow it'll push all the real knowledge back in deep, you know. But I think it's too late for them. Yeah, they're struggling.
Do you guys know anything about lie detectors?
What, you mean my ears?
Well, if you hooked someone up to a lie detector, and you know that, and they start talking about the globe, and the lie starts going like danger, you know, something goes off.
You would have to identify people who you know are actively lying, because I don't know if it would work with people who really believe what it is they're saying, because technically they're no lying.
Yep.
You know, if they really believe it, you know, you're going to get different results. Sorry guys, I'm just going to nick the toilet with 2 seconds.
Well, that's my understanding as well, Merrill, right? That, you know, if you actually believe in what you're saying, then a lie detector wouldn't work. Or am I wrong in that?
I agree. I think there's definitely that some people don't know that what they're saying is a belief.
Yeah.
They actually think it's a fact.
Yep.
And then if you're going in between those two things, like that's what we're starting to differentiate: subjective, objective, fact, and belief.
Yep.
It's an interesting process.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you hooked anybody up who thinks he lives on a globe to a lie detector and asked them the question, the lie detector wouldn't say anything, right? Because most people do believe they're on a globe. So, yeah, and if you have that belief deep enough, then you think it's a fact, but it isn't, right? And then off you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest surprise I think I've ever come across. They said when I was younger, life would be full of surprises. Like, this is definitely the biggest.
Absolutely.
For me anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how it could get any bigger either, to be honest. I mean, yeah, when you go through, you know, I mean, if I look back at 20 years of looking at conspiracy theories, as they call them, then you think, all right, you fall into the next one, and then you think, Christ, there's another even bigger one, you know, and then an even bigger one, and then the flat Earth comes along and hits you in the back of the head like with a spade, right? You know, I mean, that's the one that knocks you out, and when you get back up on your feet, you think, Jesus, yeah, I never saw that one coming. Well, I didn't.
It's a global lie.
A global lie, yeah. Or as we like to call it, Glenn, it's a kerfuffle.
A kerfuffle, yes.
A kerfuffle.
Amazing.
Yeah, we were talking about illusions before. You've probably mentioned it, but it's the fact that the body, that the human mind is able to see those illusions is not evidence of it being imperfect. It's more evidence that it is actually perfect.
Yep, exactly.
It's doing what it's meant to do. Your mind is actually pointing out that, hey, hang on, that's an illusion.
Yep. It's certainly pointing out that there's something more you need to consider, right? If all your life you've had that discernment of, you know, a stick being straight, looking at it, and then when it's in water, to stay with that example, all of a sudden it appears bent, then you know your senses are actually alerting you very highly to that fact. I think we kind of touched on that on Friday before we got called away. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a very important point that your senses are not fallacious whatsoever. They're actually very highly tuned instruments, and yeah, I mean, without them, we'd be dead. You wouldn't last a week.
A good example of that is when you were talking the other day about somebody crossing the road.
Yeah.
How you're able to discern that that vehicle is heading towards you because it's getting bigger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
No.
No.
No, fuck off.
The Socratic method. As I've gone through my life, my mum has had like a teacher, like someone she's listened to, and my mum meditates and stuff. But it's interesting because he mentions Socrates and Plato, and what said was Socrates said, "Know thyself."
Yeah.
He didn't say, "Know thy neighbor" or "know thy fence." He could have said anything. And the fact that there's this message there, it's 2 words or 3, but know thyself. It shows how important it is to understand yourself and the world around you. That is what makes us human.
Yeah.
And although this is a tough situation for us to be in, I think it's the making of us.
Yeah. Well, when you know yourself, mate, you know, that's a chance for you to reflect, and then you can recognise things in other people. You know, but first and foremost, you have to know yourself, or else you're never going to understand anybody else. You know.
Yeah.
Dire Crow.
Yeah. I've started to know myself, and I'm not sure I like myself all that much.
Yeah. Keep working on it.
Hey, Glenn, I like you.
Thanks, mate.
How you doing, Dire Crow? You all right?
Good, Del. Good, Del. What's going on? Can you hear me or no?
I don't want to keep calling you Dire Crow unless that's what you want to be known as. I mean,
Lonnie.
No, you guys can call me Lonnie.
Lonnie.
Yeah.
Lonnie, how you
Lonnie.
doing, man?
Good. Pretty good.
G'day, Lonnie.
I was actually not thinking about not just listening in. I was in a pissy mood earlier today. I got no cigarettes. I'm out of weed. I'm broke. So, but you guys have been hitting some good points today. So I figured I'd just jump in.
Thanks, man.
I actually had a thought. I love that. That was one of the things that really resonated with me, with you, Del, was the abomination of this world. I love that. Like another thing that I was one of the few people to say that about this world is that people walk around with this life is beautiful, life is great mentality all day long. And I'm like, all right, fine. There are beautiful things in this world, but where, give me one prime example where life is just, puppy dogs and blowjobs all day long. Seriously. I mean, even if you find the most tranquil, beautiful spot on this realm, whatever you want to call it, sandy beaches, blue skies, blue-green waters, within 100 feet of you, in any direction, there's at least a dozen life forms, insects, bacteria that want and can kill you. So, life is not always beautiful. Even in the most, even in paradise, you're surrounded by hell.
Come on, Lonnie, you're going to depress us.
Oh no, trust me.
I hear that shit all the time. Oh, it's depressed. It's depressed. No, I'm not depressed. It's just an honest look in how you see the world that you're actually living in. It's not depressing to know it and understand it like that, But people always say that. Oh, would you mean that I'm going to bust your delusion? Is that what you actually mean? It's not that it's depressing. It's that it's threatening your delusion.
You're bursting the bubble.
Yeah. Party pooper.
Yeah. Well, we can have a better party, you know, let's find out what the fuck this place is, you know, and then we can start to party properly. But everybody, it's these mantras I just don't like. They're all based on assumption and things that you have to take as belief yet again, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's just, it kills me sometimes. Like I said, I get so frustrated with people. It's not even like, you can't look at anything objectively. You can't criticize anything. Like, to criticize anything means you hate it. It's like, why do I have to hate something to criticize it? What's the point of loving something if you can't criticize it?
Yeah.
I mean, you ask any sports fan, you know, they love their sports teams. They live by their sports teams. Yet they're always ragging on the coach. They're always ragging on this player. This guy's a fucking spastic. This guy doesn't belong on the team. Like, dude, if you're criticizing it, why you're criticizing the sports team, then that means you don't love it.
Yeah.
You'd say that to them, oh, my sports colors run in my veins. All right, so don't tell me when I criticize certain aspects of life, certain aspects of my family, certain aspects of my past, don't tell me I've got nothing but hate for it because I'm criticizing it.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
I said something to someone yesterday, I guess, that people misunderstand, at least with me, that 90% of my rage comes from pure love. Like, if that makes any sense. Anybody understand that? Or am I just crazy?
No, totally right.
It comes from pure love. Whenever I used to criticize, my girlfriends or anything, it's because, not because I held them up on a pedestal, it's because I knew they were smarter than that. It's the reason why I chose them to be a companion. The reason why we clicked together is because I saw something in them that was, that was on a higher level than others. So when I criticize you for doing dumb shit, it's not because I think you're a dummy. It's because I know you're better than that.
Yeah.
Basically. But that's just, insane rantings from my head.
That's awesome. Good.
Merle, I'm loving that backdrop you got there, bro. I love the astrological chart you got there. That's awesome.
Yeah, just this is for me, beyond the imaginary curve. It's the BTIC massive. This is world. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, let's take it right into a cult. Everybody get a tattoo now. Dick, it's the new Schwarzenegger. I can get it tattooed.
Yeah.
Just.
I was trying to come up with a good level plane tattoo. I'm trying to think of something. I think I just might. Speaking of artwork, Salvador Dali. If Salvador Dali didn't know the world was flat, dude, then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm all kinds of confused. You look at any single one of Salvador Dali's landscapes, and he has everything you need to discern whether we live in a flat plane or around, like, just the way he does perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Am I ranting again about crazy shit?
I mean,
for some reason I just.
Every artist that's ever been known, any landscape, they're painting and depicting a level plane. There's not one artist or any landscape painting that you'll go and see that it's got a curved fucking horizon or any curvature.
No. And it's got a half a dozen examples of perspective, of how perspective works.
Yep.
Whether it's a melting clock right here and a naked woman with a horse's head all the way down there, like it all works, but everybody focuses on, the eye catcher, the shiny, like you like to say. They like to focus on the shiny. Oh, the melting clocks are so cool. All right, but what does he mean by the melting clock? Is he telling you that time doesn't really exist, that it's just a man-made concept?
Yeah. Probably trying to say that space-time is a lot of bullshit. That's what I think he was saying. There's Escher's another one who's another painter, and even some of Turner's. I think it's Turner, yeah. He's got some paintings as well where you can see that these guys knew what was going on, right? They had a different outlook in life. How much they knew, it's, again, conjecture, but, there's no way that it's all just harmless fun that they were having, You
see these other artists now that play on perspective, and they set up a whole scene, you know, and it looks to you like you're looking at a street with a car and, you know, houses and stuff, and then it pans out, and what you're actually looking at is a model, with a model car, a model street, with an actual street in the background, and, you know, they understand lines of perspective and how to play on that, you know.
Yep, there's that guy that does these pavement drawings where you know, it even looks as if you're falling in a hole. But again, all these things depend on the eye in a given situation. It's like that Amos room, the one where you can look through a room and see two people. One appears to be a giant and the other one appears to be a dwarf. But because they've made a trapezoid tangible room, and you've got your eye in one specific place, then you get that illusion. I mean, that's a perfect example of how, you know, the eye can fool you in that respect, but not because it's the senses are wrong, but just because that, you know, you don't fully understand how the thing's been built. You haven't had a tangible experience. All you have is a visible experience, you know.
If you walk into the room, you're going to see the construction of the room, and then you understand why it looks like that.
Yep.
So again, it's the difference between the visible and the tangible.
Yep.
Without the tangible, you don't know what you're looking at.
Yep. But there's a lot of artists, I think, that definitely had more to have more to say than they let on, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. It makes you wonder why so many of them died so early, or so many of them died in so many mysterious circumstances. It makes you wonder.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the things we need to get some people to look into and develop ideas of is the fact that those things that you see are only visible from one location, from one with the eye in one actual situation. You change the situation of the eye and you change what's actually visible.
Yeah, it's kind of like covering one eye. Spend a day with one eye covered and see how your world changes. See how your perspective of the world changes. That's just one of those silly things that I sit around and think about. What if I were to walk around all day with an eye patch on and just totally cut out half of my depth perception?
Yeah.
How would I view the world?
Yeah. The Boutstrauss in the chat was just saying that they're being taught as an artist and how perspective works. Yeah. Kirsten Wolf, the science establishment has convinced people things have to be more complicated. So do many flat earthers still seem to think so. Exactly, you know, this is the point we keep making. People keep thinking you have to play to the games that they have set out for us, and things have to be complex, and you need experts and people in high places to make these decisions. When really it comes down to simplicity. It comes down to the simplicity of claims being made to you have to be practically shown, and that everybody can verify or falsify these things for themselves. You know?
Yep.
You made my ears ring. You know that thing when your ears start ringing? Del made my ears start ringing. Oh, it's classic.
Don't worry, bro. My ears are always ringing. I swear, it's either the refrigerator or the toaster. One or the other. They're reading my mind.
Maybe that's why Van Gogh cut off one of his ears.
Yeah, bravo.
And the Illuminati were sending them signals and they couldn't handle it.
Well, I kind of wanted to touch on the dude. Go ahead. Sorry. Hey, I'll be right back.
He disappeared.
Sorry, Glenn, what were you going to say there, mate?
I forget now.
You need to come better than that, Glenn. Come on.
Lonnie, I muted your mic there just while you were moving about and stuff. You just need to click it back on again.
It was something I was going to say. That ringing in the ears is actually a disease called tinnitus.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that. It's the kind of, it's different. We'll get back to where we are, but there is a frequency. This is just a theory. I'm not claiming to know, but someone will say something and your ears start ringing. And I think there's a resonance. When someone speaks truth, if they know where they're coming from and they're speaking from their heart, it's real to them. So listen up. That's all I'm saying.
Nice one, Merle.
The way I actually use my eyes to tell whether a globalist is lying or not. If their lips are moving, I know they're lying. An old one, I know, but.
But I think it's a good point, Merrill. You know, I think anybody with a heartbeat, right, who's got ears that vibrate, you know, there's definitely something coming over in words, right, that can make you, I don't know, resonate with what's being said. So I don't know about ringing in my ears. You know, I tend to feel more of a kind of elation when I hear something that resonates with me. So maybe you should go and see a doctor. Not that they'll do you any fucking good.
I don't do doctors. Hell with that.
Sorry, I'll retract that. Sorry.
My mum was a nurse. I know about doctors.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I ended up my last 2 years in high school, I ended up taking emergency medical technique classes, because they kicked me out of biology for arguing with the teacher. And I don't remember what it was. It was something simple I brought up, like, you know, how does that work? And she's like, well, we're not here to talk about earth science. We're here to talk about biology. I'm like, yeah, but it's still, you know, science. It's still relative to each other. But how does that work in a natural science way? And she's just like, Mr. Wu, I think you need to leave the class. I'm like, but I'm like, what the fuck is the point of school if you can't ask questions? Like, what's the point of learning if you're not asking questions? And I got thrown out, and she wouldn't let me back in the class. And for the next 4 semesters, for the next 2 years, they made me take emergency medical techniques. So I could save your life just as fast as I could take it.
Good tools to have.
Yeah. Well, and like 4 out of my 10 girlfriends have always been either nurses or in the medical field. So like 2 or 3 of my best friends were EMTs, you know, fire department, the FDNY EMTs. So I got a good, dude, I'm one of the only people I know. I carry a full first aid kit with me around, like, at all times in my backpack. Like, full. Syringes, hook needles for sewing, for sutures, everything. Everybody thinks I'm a psychopath for some reason. I'm like, this is like, you never know. Especially when someone like me, when you lived through 9/11, when you were in New York City for 9/11, now pretty much everybody that works in a building in downtown Manhattan, they're mandatory to have a full first aid kit. You know what I'm saying? A water, you know, bottles of water, flashlights, glow sticks. You know, every single employee in Lower Manhattan has to have these things. And this is like a mentality I carried around since I was 13, 14 years old. Always had a full first aid kit. In my, you know, always had bandages, always had sutures. I found a woman that was willing to give me that stupid hook needle to do sutures. Like, people thought I was nuts for carrying this stuff around. I'm like, but this is like common sense. If you're stuck somewhere and you need, emergency medical treatment, what do you do without that? But that's, again,
have a guy like you around. Thank God.
Yeah. Well, most of the time people are scared to have me around, but when they need me, I'm the best person to have next to them.
Way to go, man.
Yeah,
I just like on what you said earlier on about, you know, not being able to ask questions, you know. I mean, I think it's a kind of training we get, right, from very earlier on, that people tell us what to do, and, you know, and we're kind of trained to expect answers to everything, that we don't even, you know, have questions anymore. I know for a large part of my life, I didn't, you know. You just suck it all in. Yeah, you get the answers, and you don't even have time to ask questions sometimes in your life, right? And then you know, I think that's probably one of the ways they keep us in check, because Socrates did nothing but ask questions, right? The Socratic method. I mean, they hung him for it as well, so they say. So, you know, they definitely, I don't know, they don't want us asking questions, and they've trained us to expect answers.
I've got a question for Merle. You there, Merle?
Yep. Yep.
It's first light here at the moment. What do you got outside the window now?
Is this a real-time experiment, Glenn?
Yeah.
Good man. Keep it going.
I've got blue sky, sun up.
Oh, wow.
Clouds in the sky too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I'm only just starting to see the trees outside the window. It's what
I've got
you
full
call,
light, like it's proper up, not just sunrise. It's proper up.
yeah, no worries. Thanks, mate. I'll write that into my diary.
So how far away are you from each other then?
About 2,000 miles.
Sorry?
About 2,000 miles.
Yeah,
the world's about
Actually, it hasn't that long. It probably, you know, like when the sun rises and then there's that sunrise, it's probably about half an hour after that. You know, where it's just common, but it's still sort of golden.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm only just getting full light. Everything's still grey. There's no colour.
Yeah, good on you.
Actually, just as I spoke, I started seeing a bit of colour.
But it's a good point. You need colour or shades of grey to be able to discern any outlines of visible shapes or figures. Yeah, if everything's just one colour, you wouldn't see a shape, right? So you need at least I think it's 256 shades of grey the human eye can discern. After that, it can't tell any difference. It might not even be that much. I'm not sure. But yeah, without colour, you wouldn't see anything either, would you? Or without the shading, if you like. Sorry, that's completely off topic.
No, you're actually right on point. I was trying to think of a good response to that, but I can't really say nothing to that. It's on point. I actually had something. Oh, speaking of color, here we go. I saw a meme the other day. It's not the first time I've seen this meme. It's about, you know how with the chessboard, and it'll have like the queen and the king of the government, the bishop is religion. You know what I mean? And it's like they go down to the pawn, and like the pawn is you. Like we're all pawns in this big chess game. And that didn't really make any kind of sense to me. Because if we were pawns, then we'd be part of the game. And we'd have some kind of influence on the game. Like a controlled influence or a minor part of an influence. But either way, I don't know. It just kind of occurred to me that we're not the pawns in the chess game. That we are actually the common people. We are actually the chessboard in itself. And the game is being played on us.
Yeah.
And we are actually the most important piece of the game. And without us, the game cannot be played.
Exactly.
I want right on that chessboard. I don't want to play the game, and I don't want to be on the chessboard.
That's my that's my thing. There's only one way to come out on top of a rigged system, of a rigged game, and that's to not play. Period.
Exactly, mate. That's why it's important for us to find out what the actual board is, you know. We got to find out the parameters of the game. We got to find out who's playing, who are these two idiots playing this game, and what the hell are they on about?
Yeah,
well, that's part of the deception. They don't want you to know.
Yep, you're not supposed to know the operations of your own mind and how it works, and you know how your senses work. I'll give another shout out to a book that I think everybody should read, Inquiry into the Human Mind on the Principles of Common Sense by Thomas Reid. That book, you know, woke me up for a lot of things. And you know, if he pulls it right back, then you know any way forward has to be always based on our shared, you know, mutual common senses. Everything that we all share is something we can all agree on, and that has to be the basis of all our knowledge. You know, from the heartbeat that we all have, right? The desire to hug and be social animals, yeah, all the way to, you know, our senses and how we, you know, operate, yeah.
Yeah, I'd second that. That book is absolutely amazing. It's like some other books that you read, you can read the whole book, and in that whole book you might find 3 or 4 gems with that inquiry into the human mind. Thomas Reid actually has a gem in every paragraph. I'd almost say every sentence, but it's probably it is the most incredible read I've ever had.
Yeah, find it on
Thomas Reid.
Thomas Reid's Inquiry into the Human Mind and the Principles of Common Sense. And he had a huge influence, by the way, in America, just while we've got you on there, Lanny. You know,
the name sounds familiar.
You know,
the name definitely sounds familiar.
In the Supreme Court, the judges used to say, and if the people of the court want to know by which principles we actually pass judgment, then people could do no better than read this book from Thomas Reid. You know, that's the judges of the Supreme Court in America in the late 1700s. Yeah, you know, the man had a huge influence on thinking. Even the first two presidents, you know, of America. Not that I'm saying that they're good or bad, or I don't have any opinion on it, but what I'm trying to say is the man's influence was tremendous, but it's been completely lost. And you know, he basically said that common sense realism is the only basis of knowledge that you really have, and that's where you find the self-evident truths that we can all agree on, and from that way move forward. So anyway, I don't want to wrap it on about him. All I can say is I recommend that book to anybody. Huh?
I mean, you're quite right to wrap it on about him, mate, because there has to be that revival and reconnection with these types of people and the work that they've done and what they put out there, you know. Again, you know, we can all have discussions and we can come to these conclusions and we understand these things. So, you know, for me, that they are rooted in real truth. There's no way to escape these things, you know. Without this understanding and that ground, well, you know, we're lost. We're forever going to be battling with each other with ideas and fantasy, you know.
Absolutely.
Ideas. We got a ton of ideas.
Yeah.
Not too much knowledge.
Exactly.
Well, to wrap it on a little bit more about Thomas Reid, it's said that the entire French education system is based on the principles of Scottish common sense as written by Thomas Reid. And the fact that he's been deliberately obscured, the fact that, well, it appears to me that he's been deliberately obscured. There's no, well, actually, if you when you look into it, when you actually check out what was going on, you find out that the establishment philosophers, the philosophers representing the ideal system, made vicious attacks for a little while on Thomas Reid's philosophy, and then it just seems to have disappeared from history for a couple of 100 years.
Yeah, they didn't want that spreading. They didn't want any common sense realism spreading. Right? That's not good for the TV ratings and the likes and the followers. And you know, you want to keep them all chasing stuff, idols and ideas and big cosmologies or whatever. Yeah, you don't want them actually thinking about what they're doing here, talking to each other, hugging each other. You know, well, you know, oh man. So
you want kind of the same thing they did to Tesla.
Yeah. Yep. You don't want people thinking about stuff. You want them watching football.
Yeah.
Nothing against a bit of football now and again. We all need to escape, don't we? Well, we think we do. We really need to escape tangibly, not mentally. Yeah.
So things for me, I indulge in certain things, but again, it's a conscious decision, and I know what I'm involved in and why I'm indulging in it. It's not like, you know, it runs through me, just as, you know, Lonnie said earlier. You get these people, oh, green and white runs in my veins, and they've got this patriotism to, you know, nonsense. When really it's not. You know, I enjoy the sport of football. I partake in viewing it. I use it for entertainment. You know, it's just a matter of the levels that you're involving yourself with these things, you know.
Yep.
That's where I lost interest in sports. It's just American sports. I'm a huge baseball fan, and that comes from baseball is pure science is pure physics and pure geometry. 80% of baseball is based in that. The rest of it is, you know, teamwork and camaraderie and all of that other garbage. But baseball is all about, you have a good understanding of geometry and physics, and you can master baseball. And that's where I've always had a love for baseball. And American baseball has become so bastardized and so it's just disgusting what they've done to my beautiful, beautiful sport.
Yeah.
You know, and it kills me.
There's people out there that would say, you know, well, you can't trust your senses. No, you can't trust your senses at this wee ball coming at you at fucking 70 miles an hour while you hit it with a thin bat. You know, it's not really there. It's an abstraction. Your mind and your eyes and your senses are getting it all mixed up, you know.
I've seen good golfers repeat holes in one, right? And if your senses weren't working, you wouldn't be able to knock a golf ball into, you know, 250 meters into a wee hole, you know, yeah. And on a moving, spinning ball.
Maybe they had the app, Cav. Maybe they had the Coriolis app. That's probably the secret, you know.
It shows a really deep understanding of spherical geometry.
Yes,
that's so weird. That's what the first time I went bowling. I'd never bowled before. It was this party, and we all went bowling. And each time I bowled the ball, I got a strike. I couldn't not get one. And rather than my friends or the people that were there congratulate me, they were looking at me like I was a weirdo or an asshole for getting the strikes. And I was just too good. I couldn't miss.
But Mel, you are a weirdo. Come on.
What's the definition of a weirdo?
Exactly. Hanging upside down on a globe.
Aye.
Yeah, good one.
Oh, that makes me one too. Shit.
No, it's me that's upside down. Remember, we're spinning at 65,000 miles sideways. So
nobody's upside down. It's all relative. There's no such thing as up, down, or left and right.
What, you mean I don't have any orientation? Oh, come on. Why? How can I stay on this chair?
That's what kills me about all their arguments about relative and there's no up and down in space. All right, fine, there's no up and down in space, but take one of them $1 billion satellites and zoom in on Australia and show me one of them pictures. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to turn the camera, you know what I'm saying? Keep your shot, pan down on Australia, and zoom in. And show me one of them buildings. Show me a fucking boat going down the side of the planet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From a learned perspective, that the camera can't do that, your telescope can't do that, your very expensive satellites can't do that. They can see fucking Mars and detect how many gases are in, you know, fucking Jupiter's Uranus, but they can't zoom in on a boat going down the side of the planet. I mean, come on. I mean, is that ridiculous? Is that a crazy assumption?
As soon as you start putting these kind of concepts to people like that, you know, I think that they start to realise how absolutely ridiculous and absurd it is. You know?
Yeah.
Like just what you say, go into your space and fucking zoom into Australia and show me a helicopter taking off upside down. You know?
Exactly. A plane flying upside down, a boat going down the side of anything that shows me that picture is a real picture and that the world is round.
You need to be in God mode to do that.
Oh, geez.
If I believe that, it means that my head is at an angle of 38 degrees to my feet.
Yep, it certainly looks that way to me.
You look a bit squinty. Look a bit squinty there, Glenn.
The preposterous things they try and believe. Yeah, but you know they've never ever done that, have you? You know, you don't see these 24-hour, you know, fly over the north to south. You know.
No, if that was really true, these are the things that you would be partaking in. These would be the interesting things. Oh, look at that! It's amazing. You know, let's video this. Let's have a 24 live feed of this. Let's, you know, observe weather patterns and warn people about what's coming from the other side of the fucking testicle. You know.
Yeah, but I forgot. We already have those things, don't we? That's 24 hours CGI. TV.
And
I wonder where.
sorry, but
No, go ahead, Meryl, please.
if the Earth was spinning, shouldn't we be able to hover above it and then it would just spin underneath us and then we could just come back down?
No, it's magic.
I mean,
the magic here is velcroed to the earth.
Right.
You need a bit of woo woo.
Look,
me?
Meryl, you're talking about actual physics here and how things work in reality, but we're talking about the globe here. You have to invoke imagination and mystical energies in order to understand it. Yeah.
Don't forget God. You need to throw God in there too somewhere.
Yeah.
You mean absolute absurdities? I mean, why a normal human being can't get that gravity has to be a load of bullshit, because somehow or another this magic force holds billions of tons of water to the surface of a sphere, and at exactly the same time a butterfly can fly across the surface of that water. That's just absolutely absurd.
Ah, but it can do that. It can, pick things
No,
up.
obviously we see it happening.
Stumpy 477 ramblings of drug addicts. Stumpy, I was reading you in the comment section about 5 minutes ago, rattling on about water, rotund, curvy water, convexing to the exterior of a fucking sphere. What the fuck are you smoking, son? You know?
They don't even have to be smoking anything. That kills me when they start to call people drug addicts or they look down on drug addicts. You're all drug addicts. You're addicted to your coffee. You're addicted to your stupid fucking television shows. You're addicted to all kinds of stupid chemicals and substances. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't get out of bed without taking a freaking aspirin in the morning. You can't, like, come on. Get off with that drug addict bullshit, dude, because you're just as much of a fucking junkie as the rest of us.
Exactly.
Hey, get Stumpy on and we'll make him a foot shorter.
Oh my God, my head hurts. I gotta take fucking 4 aspirins to stop the pounding. Get the fuck out of here. Stop being a whiny bitch. Yeah, head hurt. My fucking ears ring all day and all night. I don't sit there and fucking down ibuprofen all day. I might punch myself in the head a couple of times. Just kind of equal it out, but. Fucking drug addicts, get out of here!
Yeah,
you stupid fucking TV junkie.
This is a crap these disciples have, though. You know, they're so enamored by their cult religion that that's all they have to offer. Nothing articulate, nothing logical, nothing scientific. Absolute bollocks. You know, well they sit there defending cartoons and fucking nature-defying water. I mean, where do these people come from? Honestly.
Sad to say they come from the same place we do.
So I mean,
I was saying it's sad to say, but the fact is they come from the same place we do.
From the same place.
We're just lucky enough that we've got out of it at the moment. We're just trying to drag them along with us.
Yeah.
Nah, they're the knuckleheads that wanted to stay in class because the teacher was hot and, you know, they wanted to get that gold fucking star. And we're the guys that were like, fuck that. We're going out, get some smokes, smoke some cigarettes, and hook up with the cutest chick that we can find. Like, we're the ones that wanted to go out and experience in the world, and they're the ones that wanted to stay in the classroom and get told what the world actually is. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. It's we do all come from the same place, but there's different kinds of people. Like, look at nature. It's diverse. It's not like clones. I reckon there's genius.
Smoke a cigarette.
Like genius. And we're all part of that genius. We've all got a spark of it in us. Everyone does. Even a dumb fuck. Even like one time I saw this guy go past me in the street in Melbourne. He was on a skateboard, just like had 2 arms and like a torso, no legs, and he was just scooting along the street. But the guy had so much heart. There was so much, he didn't have much body, but his spirit, man. Like, and I'm just, even before I came across this, I wasn't necessarily spiritual, but I wasn't an atheist. I've always had this feeling that there is something bigger, but not everybody feels that. And that's cool. Like, that's right. Some people just want their career, or they do want to stay in the classroom, but there's different kinds of people, different kinds of ways of looking at things.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's
it.
Just like John Truth here saying in the chat, we all want the truth of where we live. The control system has made monkeys out of us, literally. Let's find the truth. I keep walking on eggshells at home trying to explain to family members. You know, I get that. I'm sick of walking on eggshells. It's, as I keep saying, you know, I'm sure many agree. It's time now just to start ridiculing this cartoon crap. You know, let's all walk on eggshells. Let's just stamp on it for the absurd nonsense that it actually is. You know, without any worry. I don't care what people think, neither should any of you out there. You know, if you're worried about these people who think about you, remember every time you get to that point that these people think they live on a fucking blue testicle, that nature-defying testicle flying through the vacuum of space with no rhyme or reason. Remind yourself who the Looney is.
Yeah. Well, it's quite, I used to be sort of proud of my, well, yeah, I suppose I'd say proud of my education. I was told that I was a very clever student and stuff like that. And I used to sort of think, yeah, good. Then when you come across flat Earth, basically, you realise that so much of what you're taught, almost all of it, was utter crap. And the fact that you were good at it means that you were actually stupider than everybody else.
Not necessarily, but I hear.
I can laugh at myself. I know what you mean, Glenn.
You know, actually, that's the beauty of it too. This awakening sort of thing is that you can actually laugh at it. You can, and that, I think that's one of the things that's really important. The way that people try to hang on to it, try to hang on to their beliefs, and just don't want to hear this new stuff. When actually it doesn't hurt. It's actually good.
Yeah.
No harm was made to any sentient being in the Sicilian globe from being an ex-globe convict. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It doesn't hurt at all. It's all in your head, isn't it? The wall just comes down.
Exactly.
Actually, just one little thing. Sorry, Mel. Just saying.
Yeah.
If you actually see my background now, you can see it. When I first came on, the room was completely dark, but you can see that the light's coming in. You can actually see in the last half hour or so, you can see how the light has actually seeped into this room.
I've been trying to come up with a way of getting involved actively myself. And being as I don't have the tools to interact with people civilly, you know, for any long, you know, for any extended period, I'm thinking I'm just gonna have to go straight vandal. But I live in a major American city where vandalism is like an art form. So, there's graffiti everywhere. I figure I'm gonna have to go straight vandal and just start tagging up, research flat Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Think beyond the globe. Shit, like, you know, I'm just trying to come up with some good slogans that are nice, quick, short, and to the point. Stuff like that.
I think you should offer medical assistance to them.
before or after I split their skull.
No. I mean, but they might need it after, you know, they've had a conversation and a good think. They might fall down and hurt themselves or something. So, I mean, for some people, it can come as a great shock. So, with your expertise and training,
I don't know about expertise. You know, I know I'm familiar. You know, I have a familiarity.
I got a good slogan for you, Lonnie. I want to see some billboards with "Open your fucking eyes."
Seriously. Well, I'm gonna start. Well, first off, I'm gonna get myself a shirt printed up that says "Get the fuck." Because I just love that too much. That reminds me of back home where, yeah, that's how you answer, get the fuck out of here. But it sounds so much better with a Scottish accent. Get to fuck.
Have you guys ever seen? Have you ever seen Billy Connolly where he talks a whole lot about the wonderful uses of that one word? How it can be applied. It's really funny, isn't it? Sorry.
That's good.
I'm gonna start off with that. I'm gonna start off with prove the curve or get to fuck.
You need to spell it right, Lonnie. It's T-A-E.
No, I know.
Get T-fuck.
Get to fuck. Trust me, one of my all-time favorite movies is Trainspotting. I've seen that movie 100 million times. It's the only reason I know how to understand you, especially when you get mad and you get really Scottish on motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, we need subtitles. I'm like, fuck you and subtitles. Watch Trainspotting a couple of times. You'll get it.
Clean your fucking ears out.
That too. Or at least, I don't know. Open your fucking mind and stop thinking like a redneck or fucking whatever where everybody has to speak English with your accent for you to fucking understand them. Like, come on, man. Learn something about the fucking world. If you're going to sit there and claim that it is a bowl, you know what I'm saying, at least learn something about it and the people that are on it. It's crazy. It drives me nuts with these people, especially America. America is pretty bad. Like, I don't know. I've been to Europe once or twice. I've been to Germany. I've been to France. I really want to go to Scotland and Ireland. From between the architecture and just like the land, and to me, there's nothing sexier than a woman with a deep Scottish and a deep Irish accent. I don't know. That's just me. But
so I hope you're not here to go off on our accents, Lonnie. Pan the camera down just an inch or two there.
It's not the male accent, it's the female accent, trust me. I mean, it's just, I don't know, for me, it's just a beautiful accent. I don't know, and I've heard, like I said, I grew up in New York City, I grew up in a half Hispanic family. I had a Chinese grandfather that lived with us, like straight out of Hong Kong Chinese. I grew up in one part of my neighborhood was Irish or Italian, and the rest of the neighborhood was like, African-American, Hispanic. So I came from a place where, within a block of where I lived, a dozen different languages were spoke. You know what I mean? So one of them wasn't Scottish. And Scottish, when the first time I heard a Scottish accent, I was just like, that's the fucking coolest thing I ever heard.
I'll sell you some. I've got some jars of Gravity and I've got some jars of Scottish accent if you want to buy it.
And can you get me some tartan paint and a bubble for my spirit level?
Actually, that's one of the scary things if you look into history, is the influence that Scotsmen have had on modern civilization.
That too. That's another thing that kind of caught my interest.
I thought we were just famous for our women.
And their accents.
I thought it was because we had men dressed like women.
Wearing skirts.
Listen, guys, it's been a real pleasure and really enjoyable tonight, but I'm so hungry and tired. It's been a long day for me, so I'm going to have to wrap up here. If I could, I would just leave these to it and let it run, but I don't know if I can actually do that, can I?
I'm going back to bed anyway for an hour or so.
Yeah, I'm good.
I am.
Yeah. I actually feel better now. My day's not as sucky now.
Surely there's somebody out there that's close by, Lonnie, that can fucking spare you a joint. Be kind.
I told you, man. They don't really talk to me anymore. They're tired of they smoke with me, and I start going on my rants about flat Earth and freaking government mind control and all of that crap, and they just want to get rid of me. So
yeah, you don't get invited anymore, do you?
Can we turn the super chat into weed donations?
I'll take a cigarette over a joint right now. Either way, I haven't had a cigarette in about 10 hours.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to hear that crap about nicotine will kill you. I've been smoking for 22 years. I ain't dead yet. So stop making fucking promises you can't uphold. But thanks a lot for having me again, guys. It was nice meeting you, Glenn, Merle. It was nice talking with you.
You too.
Gab, Marsh, I know you didn't really chime in that much, but thanks for having me. All the beautiful ladies and awesome gentlemen inside the chat.
Oh,
Cheers, Lonnie.
Always good to be here.
Anytime, bud.
Cheers, fellas.
Take
Till
care.
next time.
Fun again.
bye, everybody.
Thank you, Del. Thanks, mate.
Anytime, guys.
Yeah, good on you, Del.
Cheers, Glenn.
Hey, Glenn. See you, everybody. Bye, Dale.
Cheers, Gav. Cheers for that.
See you later, Gav. See you later, Marshall.
Yep. Thanks, Marshall. Everybody else. Everybody in the chat. Good night.
Good morning.
Aye. Everybody in the chat, everybody watching, thanks again. Just worn out. I'm hitting a wall here. I need to go and chill out and get some food. Marshall, Magumba, Jonah Worms, everybody in the chat, much appreciated. Everybody else as well. Be back through the week, no doubt. We'll see what's happening. Take it easy, people.